What's up, guys? Jay Zhang here with you, with Against the Grain and Zhang Nation. Alright, so I'm not sure where to start. I'm going somewhere with this, so just roll with me. First and foremost, I'm going to get the sports out of the way. And I'm going to do that kind of quick because I have some other stuff going on. We're going to talk Bearcats real quick. We're going to talk about the fact that they beat Tarleton State 76-58 tonight, which is pretty. That's cute. That's amazing. That's what you're supposed to do. Supposed to beat, gimme teams. You're supposed to do it well. I wish they would have done that last week when they played a team from who knows what conference. I think the MAC, but they were picked to finish 9th in the MAC. They had an RPI of under 200, I'm pretty sure. And guess what? Not only did they lose, they lost bad, and they never really had a lead in the entire game, and that's terrible. And, our RPI, our net ranking, was respectable. It was in the top 64, which means prior to last week's ugly loss, we had, a chance. So we were looking like we could be a tournament team. The net rankings just came in recently, and we are number 154, the lowest out of all of the Division I schools in Ohio. Lower than Xavier, lower than Dayton, lower than Ohio State, lower than Toledo, lower than NKU, our neighbor right across the river over in Fort Thomas, Highland Heights. And it's terrible. I don't understand. And moreover, our ugly-looking football loss over the weekend. I mean, hopefully we get a bowl game against a trash heap, and we just win that, and we win it handily, and we can end our football season on a high note and have 8 wins, which is a lot better than last year, and call it a day. My Bearcats are frustrating me. It's hard to be a Cincinnati fan sometimes. I've been doing it. Been doing it since I was itty-bitty. Been doing it for over 30 years now. Should be used to it. There, we got that out of the way. Anyway, on to some other stuff. Anybody that is familiar with Ikigai, it's spelled I-K-I-G-A-I. If you're not familiar, I'm going to get you familiar. It's a concept, and as you can tell, it's something Asian. Ikigai. It's Japanese. It pretty much means find your life's worth. Ikigai literally translates to that. But the point of it is you have different spheres. You have 4 spheres. What are you good at? Being one of them. What do you love? Being one of them. What can you contribute to the world? Being one of them. And getting paid for what you're doing is one of them. And if these 4 circles all overlap and you're doing all 4 things, you're getting paid good, you're doing what you're good at, you're doing what you love, and you're contributing to the world, then in the center of all 4 circles, overlapping like a big old Venn diagram, you have your Ikigai, which is your true life's worth. It's an amazing thing. It sounds kind of simple. It's a lot harder than it sounds. But it's a concept to go with in order to attain true happiness in life. And last year, I was homeschooling the 2 older kids, and I had mentioned Ikigai. And it's a great concept, and that's why I told them about it. I might have been doing an SEL, a social-emotional learning lesson with them. I don't remember. But it was cool. And the other day, I figured I'd bring it up again. So you do that sometimes, you talk about Thanksgiving each year. You talk about Christmas. You do different wars, whatever. I did Ikigai. But it got me thinking about the degree in which I'm pursuing, which is in psychology. I've already got my CE credits for Christian counseling. I picked those up and completed that in Nashville earlier this year. And I'm pursuing essentially a master's in psychology. And I was going to take that out into the field. But, I have a life coach certification already. And I've got plenty of credits from colleges I've been to over the last several years, including the one I'm at now. Props to New Lane University out of Lehi, Utah. But what if I switched paths? The whole concept of Ikigai is in line with the tenets of positive psychology. And positive psychology is not pop psychology. It's a real thing. Matter of fact, one of the presidents of the APA, the American Psychological Association, his name was Martin Seligman. He essentially grandfathered and founded positive psychology, and he was the president of the APA. And he started his positive psychology in 1998. One of the old pioneers in psychology and sociology, his name was Abraham Maslow. He coined that term in the 50s, talking about positivity and positive psychology. But it really didn't surface as a practice or anything like that until, the president of the APA, Martin Seligman, really brought it to the forefront. And Ikigai is what reminded me of that. It made me think about it. And there's plenty of scientifically backed research on it, and its worth. It all starts in the dorsal raphe nucleus. That's a significant structure in the brainstem. And it plays a big role in regulating mood and behavior, energy, particularly the neurons that produce serotonin. It's one of the feel-good mood regulators. Now, my point is, knowing things like that and knowing a lot of things about positive psychology, why could I not maybe take what I already have and go a different route? I'm a licensed minister. I have credits that are CEs in Christian counseling. Why not go down the path of positive psychology, which is line in line with, the gospel, and line in line with Christianity, line in line with spirituality in general. I'm not just going to single out my Christian faith. I'm going to call out all of the faiths that I'm at least I put up with and have some respect for, such as Buddha and the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishad, all that. Why don't I take positive psychology and run with that? I feel like that would be a different path to take. Some of the certifications are easier to acquire. You are limited in your field, but man, I would much rather spend the rest of my education dabbling into more of the feel-good side of things than all of the other requirements like the physics and the chemistry. Ugh, so boring, so ridiculous. I'm taking a higher level biology type of class right now too, and I'm just like, I don't care about orbitals. I just don't. I'm not that concerned with the Hardy-Weinberg equation. I'm concerned about the mind, the brain, the well-being, the humanities aspect of it. So why not focus on that? So that's something I'm considering doing. And that would be really cool. I could possibly take a whole different route, pioneer something different, find my Ikigai, and contribute to the world in a whole different way. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to play some clips from the APA, Robert Seligman, and a little bit of his positive psychology. And just take a listen real quick.
Protruding inhibits the dorsal raphe nucleus. Firing of the dorsal raphe nucleus is necessary and sufficient for producing learned helplessness. And what turns it off is learning that you're not helpless. So what humans learn about is not helplessness, but that you can do end runs around helplessness. And the way Steve has shown this, it really remarkably, he's done all the right experiments. So if you...
And basically, Freudian psychology and a lot of different psychologists have always centered their therapies and recoveries around, instead of being miserable, the best thing you can do with your life is do everything you can to not be miserable. Which, great. What a means to an end, and what an end to a means. Doing everything you can to not be miserable. Let's prescribe some Senequan or some Seroquel. Let's keep you at bay. But there's so much more to it than that. And I really feel like a lot of this was medically developed to keep you on a wheel, like a hamster wheel, where you're just spinning your wheels, instead of really giving you the tools to do more. We'll keep you at bay with our psychology. We'll keep you at bay with our medicine. But is it actual well-being? Is it an ikigai? Is it true positivity? No, it's just settling for less. And I think that some of the things that Seligman and his colleagues, he had a handful of founding fathers of this positivity, this positive psychology. He had a handful of founding fathers with him. I think they were onto something good, and I think that it's overlooked in the field a lot more than it should. But I feel like with a few little certifications there, and my current minister's license, and my current education, and my CEs, I might be able to run a whole different route. I might be able to go for that touchdown, running an entire different route. Go this way, go toward the right, run up the yard line here, and maybe slide into the end zone or whatever, instead of do the old humdrum. But I don't know. It's just a thought. It's kind of a lofty thought, but why not dream big, right? So this was my rambling, and at best, I'm hoping that any listeners might have learned something at least. Learned that the Bearcats are big booty bunions, and learned that about the dorsal raphe nucleus. Learned about a little bit of the history of the beautiful art of the study of the psyche, or the mind or soul, aka psychology. Because that's kind of what I do sometimes. Big old humanities oriented me, right? So that's all I got for now. Y'all, thank you for listening. Take care, stay safe. God bless.